I don't know where to start today. This is an episode of Not the Evangelist News, really. I'm supposed to start just a quick one. It appears these days that if somebody disagrees with you, first of all, they'll try and put their views and convert you. And if they can't convert you and you're winning the argument, they then try and cancel you. And I've just had a chap on my YouTube channel, and it actually made me re-edit my video this morning. I got up 2 o'clock in the morning because it was actually worrying me, and re-edited my video. And I took basically the humour out of it so that it couldn't be construed as racism. And it's not racism, I promise you. I have nothing against Chinese people. But I don't like what the Chinese are doing to the motor trade. Anybody outside, any Chinese people outside the ones that are trying to shove EVs and undermine our market down our throat, and also the UK people who are promoting these Chinese EVs at every opportunity for reasons best known to themselves, when it's clearly not true, I have no time for them either. But I'm not a racist. And I was lying in bed awake last night and thinking about my friends. And let me just tell you a story. My grandma and granddad were the most racist people I've ever come across in my life. My granddad hated Germans. My grandma hated black people. And I got a lesson very, very early on in life. We used to have a guest house in St. Anne's, and first of all, some Germans came to, my granddad was kind of instilling his opinions onto me. And my granddad actually, I take after my granddad a lot. Very, very stubborn man, chief petty officer in the Navy. As I say, hated Germans. And from a young age, he was telling me about, why I shouldn't like them. And then because we got this guest house, my dad was working with a German company. His firm was working with a German company on a collaboration. And all these Germans came to stay. And they were really nice people. My granddad was obnoxious to them, but they were really, really nice people. And a chap called Willie Garrison, who my dad was working with, he invited, my dad had to go over to Germany to check on the job, and this chap called Willie Garrison, who worked there, invited him to bring me. I got on great with him. We had a colour TV in the guest room, and we had a black and white one in our room. And the Germans, because I like Batman, and they found out, and Batman was in colour, the Germans used to shout me in to the front room when Batman came on, and they'd sit through Batman while I watched it. Anyway, long story short, we got to Germany, and we got to Germany about 2 o'clock in the morning as it happened. And Willie Garrison's wife had laid on this massive spread. I've never seen anything like it. To this day, there was a massive table with all sorts of meats and cheeses on it, and snaps, different percentage proofs of snaps. I was 11. Willie Garrison's son was married to a young lady called Audi Garrison. And she just looked like Marilyn Monroe to me. And as I say, I was 11. That was my first major crush, Audi Garrison. So my first love was a German, much to my granddad's disgust. But once I could see for myself, once I could learn for myself, and once I could experience for myself, I changed I formed my own opinions, my own views. My grandma didn't like black people. I don't think I'd ever seen really many black people where I lived. We used to get free tickets to the shows at Blackpool Piers for putting a poster up in our hallway as a guest house, so that when people came, they'd probably look what to do, see the thing and go and buy tickets. So we used to get free ones. And we all went one night. We were on the front row, and I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been, I don't know, I think it might have been Ted Rogers. But anyway, there was a singer called Lovelace Watkins, but he was a black guy with silver hair. And it was so funny. It was as if he knew my grandma was the biggest racist in the world. And he was singing up on the stage, and then we were on the front row. He's singing on the stage, and then he walked down the steps, and then he started walking along the front. And my grandma was a lot like Les Dawson's character, you know, him and Roy Barraclough. She was kind of the same shape, and she had the same sort of mannerisms, moving her face and so on. And Lovelace Watkins came, and he kneeled down in front of my grandma and serenaded her. Well, you have never seen such a face in all your life. Absolutely. And then he finished up by giving her a massive kiss, and to see her face. And then it dawned on me, this bloke he was a nice bloke. He was a good-looking black guy kissing my old fat grandma. He was a nice bloke. And ever since then, you know, I don't let other people's opinions. My best friends at the moment, I've got many Serbians. I go to a bar owned by a Serbian guy called Nico. It's the best bar ever. You go in that bar, there is no ageism, there's no racism, there's no sexism, there's nothing. As soon as you go through that door, everybody's equal. It's a great place to be. I love it. So basically, my favourite people, I watched England versus Serbia. There was just me and Ben, the bartender, that were English, and the rest was Serbian. And you know, it was so funny. Hungarian, there's a Latvian girl across the road. The people that own the restaurant across the road, they're Albanians. There was two girls who came in from Canada studying to be doctors, and I'm pleased to say that they've passed and they've gone back to Canada. But while they were in the bar, they lit the bar up with their smiles. I am not racist. It doesn't matter what colour you are. If you're an arse, I won't like you. But I would say there's more English people, especially that comment on my videos, that I don't like and would never like. But I'm not racist. The thing that bothers me the most is the subterfuge which seems to surround Chinese vehicles. I mean, all my life in the motor trade, I've looked for trends. If you can get in on a trend and you can see what's happening, you make money. If you're coming on the end of it, when it's falling off, you lose money. And trust me, this hype about Chinese cars, they could be the best cars in the world. They're not. They could be. But the way these people go on about them and just plug them at every opportunity is just not fair. That's what I don't like. It wouldn't matter if it was anywhere in the world. If they did that, I wouldn't like it. But it don't mean to say that I don't like the people as a race. So, I mean, if you think that I'm a racist, then think again, because I'm not.